Most behavioral issues can be either completely solved or greatly diminished with biological fulfillment. I was up pretty late last night working, so I'm gonna go get a coffee. Stay here. Medium hot caramel macchiato with sugar. That's it. Thank you. So now I got a little business meeting real quick, and then after that I got a consultation. It's a pretty light day. Just have the business meeting and the consultation. Genzi, what's up? Business meeting. I'm getting ready to go to my consultation. Fulfillment should be the #1 priority when it comes to your dog. If you're having behavioral issues and your dog is not getting regular exercise, regular social stimulation, social interaction, and mental stimulation, then most likely the core issue, the core of the behavioral problem is caused by the lack of fulfillment. So when I say fulfillment, what I'm talking about is social interactions with you and other dogs. So playing with your dog and letting your dog play with other dogs, whether that be at the dog park, daycare, or just play dates where you have friends come over with their dogs. And then social interactions with you are just regular affection, just being with your dog, walking your dog, playing with your dog, anything like that. Games are great because if you're playing with your dog, if you're playing tug with your dog, tug is an amazing game for your dog. Or if you're playing fetch with your dog, they're getting mental stimulation because to make it a game, it has to have rules. If it doesn't have rules, it's just an activity. So when you make it a game, when there's specific rules, there's specific boundaries and guidelines that they have to follow to play this game, they have to use their mind. But they're also getting social interaction because they're playing with you. So they're getting mental stimulation and social interaction, and if it's fetch or tug, it's physical exercise. If it's a game like Find It or like a puzzle toy, then it's mental stimulation and social interactions with you. But either way, that stuff is so valuable for your dog. It's incredible, and it can solve almost every behavioral issue. So for the most part, you want to make sure your dog's getting a good amount of exercise. It's not about making sure your dog is like running 50 miles or anything. Like that's just going to tire your dog out. But it's also just going to increase their capacity to run. So next week, they're going to have to run 52 miles. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't solve your issue, and a lot of people get confused by that. It's not about the amount of stimulation, it's the quality of stimulation. It's the biological appropriateness of the stimulation. If your dog is just running in circles, that's for 50 miles. That's not as valuable as playing tug with them for 20 minutes. Even though they're running 50 miles, but they're just running in circles like a crazy dog, that's not as valuable as playing tug with you for 20 minutes. It's way more valuable to get that interaction with you, to get the outlet for that drive to tug with you, and the little bit of physical exercise it takes to play tug, and all the good things that come with tug. Tug's great, fetch is great, and then they also make things called teaser toys. So teaser toys are incredible. Gotta go to my consultation right now. Got cold out all of a sudden. Look how clear the sky is. It's such a nice day. It's so chilly. So if your dog is having any behavioral issues and you're not sure what the cause is, take a look at what type of fulfillment they're getting on a daily basis. If you just find out, what does my breed, the breed that I have, what does my breed need, and you do your best to fulfill your dog's needs, then you're gonna have a way happier dog with most likely no behavioral issues. So if your dog is fulfilled, then whatever behavioral issue they might be having, it's gonna greatly diminish. If they're having a behavioral issue and they're not fulfilled, chances are that behavioral issue is stemming from the lack of fulfillment. Every being on earth needs to work. You have to do things, and you have to be fulfilled. If you have certain drives, which all dogs have drives, they have to be fulfilled. So I'm a big believer in, instead of crushing drives, like a good example is someone telling you should never play tug with your dog, and you're crushing that drive. When if you just play tug with your dog for 5 minutes, it's not going to make them aggressive. It will actually make them relaxed. It won't make them tired. 5 minutes is nothing, but it'll make them relax because they're getting an outlet for that drive, and that's huge. A big thing is looking at what your dog actually needs. Like, what would your dog actually be doing if you weren't in the picture? Someone that really articulates this very well in a short video is Wade's Dogmanship, and I'll link the video below. But it's very, very, very important to make sure that your dog is getting what they need. Otherwise, how can you ask them to behave, and how can you expect them to get along socially in our environment if they're not getting what they need? Just got to my mom's. I gotta pick up my son. Responsibility that comes to owning a living being is cut out of our society. There will be no dangerous dog.